Apple AirPods Pro 3 hit all-time low price of $179. If you've been waiting to buy Apple's newest AirPods Pro 3, this might be the moment you've been waiting for. Because for the first time ever, the AirPods Pro 3 have dropped to just $179. That's not a small discount. That's an all-time low price. And here's the crazy part. Most people are focusing on the price, but they're missing the much bigger story. Today we're breaking down the 10 things you need to know before you buy, including one feature that could completely change how millions of people use wireless earbuds, and one surprising detail almost nobody is talking about. Let's dive in. The first thing you need to know is simple. This is the lowest price Apple has ever offered for the AirPods Pro 3. Historically, Apple products don't see massive discounts, especially newer products. That's why a drop to $179 is grabbing so much attention. For many buyers, this pushes the AirPods Pro 3 into impulse buy territory. Instead of a luxury accessory, it suddenly becomes a serious value option. And that changes everything. But the price isn't the most interesting part. The second thing you need to know is what you're actually getting for that money. The AirPods Pro 3 are not just another yearly refresh. Apple upgraded several key areas. Noise cancellation is stronger. Transparency mode feels more natural. Battery life has improved. And the audio processing is smarter than ever. In real-world use, that means fewer distractions, clearer calls, and a more immersive listening experience, especially in noisy environments. Here's where it gets interesting. Many people buy premium earbuds for music, but that's no longer the main reason. Which brings us to point number 3. The AirPods Pro 3 are becoming productivity tools. Think about that for a second. A lot of professionals wear earbuds for hours every day. Zoom meetings, phone calls, voice notes, podcasts, online classes, remote work. The better the audio quality and noise cancellation, the easier it becomes to stay focused. That's a huge advantage, especially if you work from coffee shops, airports, or shared offices. Now let's talk about something most reviews barely mention. Point number 4. The Apple ecosystem advantage. If you own an iPhone, iPad, MacBook, or Apple Watch, the AirPods Pro 3 feel almost magical. Switching between devices happens automatically. Calls transfer seamlessly. Audio follows you across devices, and setup takes seconds. Many competing earbuds offer similar specs, but very few offer this level of integration. It's one of those features you don't fully appreciate until you use it every day. Pattern interrupt. Imagine buying a pair of earbuds today and still using them 3 or 4 years from now. That's exactly why point number 5 matters. Longevity. Apple products typically receive long-term software support. That means new features can arrive months or even years after purchase. In other words, you're not just buying today's features. You're buying into future updates. That's a value proposition many buyers overlook. Now let's discuss something that may surprise you. Point number 6. The hearing technology inside these earbuds. Apple has been steadily adding health-focused features to its products. And audio technology is becoming part of that strategy. Industry experts believe future earbuds could play a larger role in hearing assistance and personal audio health. The AirPods Pro line is already moving in that direction. This isn't just about listening to music anymore. It's about wearable technology. And that's a much bigger market. Most people still think earbuds are simple accessories. Apple clearly disagrees. Now let's talk about value. Point number 7. The competition problem. At $249, consumers have lots of options. At $179, the conversation changes dramatically. Suddenly, buyers compare AirPods Pro 3 against products costing $150 to $200. And that's where Apple becomes extremely competitive. You're getting premium hardware, premium software, and ecosystem benefits at a much more accessible price point. That combination is difficult to ignore. Here's another surprising insight. Point number 8. Many people never use half the features they pay for. Think about that. Advanced audio customization, spatial audio, device tracking, adaptive listening modes. Most owners barely scratch the surface. If you decide to buy AirPods Pro 3, spend time learning the settings. You might discover features that completely change your experience. And that's where the real value often hides. Now let's look at point number 9. The timing. Why is this discount happening now? Retailers know shoppers pay attention during major promotional periods. Price drops generate headlines. Headlines generate traffic. And traffic generates sales. But for consumers, timing creates opportunity. Buying during an all-time low price period often delivers the best value, especially if you've already planned to purchase the product. Waiting another 6 months may not save much more money. And that's an important consideration. Now for point number 10. Who should actually buy the AirPods Pro 3? If you're using older AirPods, this upgrade makes sense. If you travel frequently, this upgrade makes sense. If you work remotely, this upgrade makes sense. If you're heavily invested in Apple's ecosystem, this upgrade makes even more sense. But if your current earbuds already meet all your needs, you may not need to rush. The smartest purchase is always the one that solves a real problem, not just the newest gadget. Before we wrap up, let's revisit the biggest takeaway. Yes, the $179 price tag is impressive, but the real story isn't the discount. It's what that discount unlocks. Premium noise cancellation, powerful productivity benefits, deep Apple ecosystem integration, long-term software support, advanced audio technology, and a glimpse into where wearable tech is heading next. The AirPods Pro 3 are no longer just earbuds. They're becoming an extension of the devices people use every day. And at an all-time low price, they're suddenly within reach of a much larger audience. The question isn't whether this is a good deal. The question is whether you'll still be able to find it at this price. And speaking of Apple's future technology, there's another major development happening inside Apple's ecosystem that could have an even bigger impact than AirPods. We'll be covering that in an upcoming video. You won't want to miss it.